Good Friday morning, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF. Visit with your local ag retailer about 0% financing on all BASF crop protection, seed treatment, and Zetavo brand soybeans now through March 15th. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg reporting. Well, under cloudy skies, I have 37 degrees on the barn thermometer this morning. The winds have started to pick up, and it looks like across most of the Buckeye State, we will be under a high wind warning or high wind advisory for the duration of the day. A couple quick calendar reminders. Join the Ohio AgNet coming up on Monday during midday as we get an update from Ohio Corn and Wheat about the great work being done to represent Ohio's grain farmers at the state and national levels. And then coming up on Wednesday the 18th, you can get ready to see the future of farming by joining Ag Revolution for the Ohio Massey Ferguson Roadshow. That again on Wednesday the 18th at the Pickaway County Fairgrounds in Circleville, Ohio. Learn more and RSVP at agrev.com. Let's check in now with Ty Higgins as he has a recap of the recent Farm Bureau President's trip to Washington, D.C.
This week, Ohio Farm Bureau farmer leaders took part in the 80th County President's trip to Washington, D.C. I was here with them, and as usual, there was no lack of pressing issues to discuss that have a direct impact on Ohio agriculture. Matthew Hemphill is a hay and cattle farmer, also vice president of Gallia County Farm Bureau. This was his first time on the trip.
I love working with the people in our county. You learn a lot, what their struggles, what they see, what they need to happen to be able to make the most out of their farms. And I would say the Farm Bill, that is going to be a huge impact to not just our county, but also the state.
For Brenda Mesher from Mercer County, she's been part of this trip now for 5 years.
I love the opportunity to come here and talk about agriculture and share with our legislators what's going on back home in Mercer County.
What are some of the things that you talked about, and who is your congressman you visited with today?
So we visited with Representative Jordan's aide today, and we talked about E15, but we also talked a lot about fertilizer and trade and concerns that we have with getting fertilizer and then the cost of fertilizer.
While out here, Ohio Farm Bureau members also heard from Senators John Husted and Bernie Moreno and the president of American Farm Bureau, Zippy Duvall. You can follow our coverage online now at ohioagnet.com. I'm Ty Higgins reporting.
Thanks, Ty. Well, let's take a look now at what the weather forecast is for a Friday and going into the weekend. This forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
More clouds into Ohio here today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag Weather update. We've got strong low pressure moving through Michigan today. While precipitation, I think, stays Michigan and Ontario, maybe even a little over Lake Erie. I do not look for a big-time action in the state. We do see cloud cover for sure. I won't rule out a spit or sprinkle, a wet snowflake or two up north, but I don't think it's a big deal. And we actually see better sunshine potential emerging in the afternoon. Going into the weekend, Saturday looks not as cold, and we see partly sunny skies. Sunday, milder temperatures emerge, but we see south flow ahead of our next frontal boundary. That front comes in overnight Sunday night. Right on through Monday, we have rain, we have thunderstorm potential, and snow showers. Yes, we can see snow accumulation with strong west and northwest winds from Monday into early Tuesday. I don't think snow lingers into Tuesday, but the winds do. Very cold to start next week, and then we moderate temperatures Wednesday forward. That's your forecast. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's catch up now with Joel Penorwood as he has an update from this year's Kalmbach Feeds Agribusiness Conference.
This is the Ohio AgNet. I'm Joel Penorwood, giving you an update from the Kalmbach Feeds Agribusiness Conference going on in Columbus. Here it's in its 13th year, I'm told, and record attendance. And you can feel the energy, feel the great conversations that are happening around us. And joining us right now, no stranger to our conversations at the Ohio AgNet, Levi Richards. He's Program Director for Formula of Champions, just a part of the family of Kalmbach Feeds, and a pretty big part as we talk, especially around fairs and more.
Sure.
Levi, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
What's new in Formula of Champions? What are you talking with folks about?
Well, I love that you start with saying you can feel the energy in the room. It is a very high energy event, but the excitement behind Formula of Champions is just kind of building up again as we get into the new kind of fair season, the new livestock season here for these 4-H kids and FFA exhibitors, buying sheep, buying goats, pigs, everything, you name it. This time of year and getting them home, getting them started on feed. Everyone's excited to, kind of get their new animals going. And it's just a fun time of year, So, here at the conference, we talk about some of those show feeds to get them started, getting them on feed. And, it's a perfect time to refresh our dealers so they're able to provide that service and have that knowledge, for their customers.
My nephew just brought home a Dark Cross Barrow and a Duroc Gilt, and I'm going to get you guys set up with each other here after this.
Perfect.
But it's amazing just the genetics, how those have changed, but along with the genetics, the feeding strategies have changed right along with it.
Absolutely.
And advancing, and people are just so much more savvy, but not just savvy in what they're feeding, the options of what they're feeding.
Absolutely.
It's really a fine-tuned piece of science.
And it's a competitive market. There's always been a handful of really good feed companies out there that you can have a lot of different options. We pride ourselves on being one of those. But boy, it's like every time we turn around, there's another new company kind of showing up. And I think, something that keeps us competitive, keeps us on the really innovative edge, is what we're doing for gut health. And it's great, especially for those babies when they're coming home and getting started in a new facility, getting started on feed. We're able to keep that gut healthy because we know the feel good starts in the gut. So we're able to keep hopefully healthier animals from the beginning, and give those livestock just a better start from day one.
So Levi, as we're talking about, we know it's that time of year when stock are coming back to the farm, getting ready for show season later.
Yeah.
What are some things that you want folks to know? Maybe what are some of those tips from a feeding perspective and how Formula Champions can help?
So I'm glad you asked that because I think it's so much more than feed. We've got to make sure we're staying on top of our protocols for deworming, for keeping things like coccidia out of our barn, because without those things as a factor and paying attention to those things, our feed can't work as good as it needs to give you optimum results. So just keep on top of your management and make sure we're not leaving any detail aside.
Right. Yep. Folks are interested in learning more about how Formula Champions can interact with their operation.
Yep.
How can they do that?
Great. So our website is formulatchampions.com, of course. You can check us out on Facebook and all social media platforms. And if you look, the phone number that we list on our website and on all of our media and merchandising is actually my personal cell phone number. Text me the pictures of your animals. Ask me what you can start on. And the customers that we have that are maybe the most competitive are the ones that are sending me updates and pictures and videos every couple weeks along the way. And it's part of my job. You're never bugging me. I enjoy it. So I hope that our customers do keep in touch like that.
And you want to see them be successful in the show ring.
Yeah, we can't just give you a chart and say when they weigh this much, feed this feed, because they're not measured, they're not criticized like that in the ring. It's all about what they look like. So we've got to make sure that we're feeding them based on what they look like.
So lots to think about. You've got his number now. Give him a call.
Right.
Ask some of those questions regarding your show stock, and there's answers to be had. Levi Richards, Program Director for Formula Champions, part of the Kalmbach Feeds family. He's just one of the folks having great conversations here at the 2026 Kalmbach Feeds Agribusiness Conference in Columbus. Levi, thanks so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
Ohio farmers are excited about the approval of Striax dicamba herbicide for in-crop soybean use. For a limited time, B&B AgVantages in Conover, Ohio, are reopening cash discounts and financing on Asgrow soybeans. This is a fantastic opportunity to return to the proven yield performance of Asgrow soybeans and the strong weed control system of the XtendFlex system. Orders must be placed and paid for by March 13th. Contact B&B AgVantages for details at 937-368-3880.
I'm Liz Funderburg from Union County, and this is the Ohio AgNet.
Thanks, Liz. Keeping livestock healthy is a challenge producers face throughout the year. Joe Everett has this update.
When it comes to preventing livestock diseases, veterinarians often refer to something called the infectious disease triad. It's a simple concept that explains how disease develops in animals. According to experts with the Ohio State University Extension, disease only occurs when three things come together at the same time: a susceptible animal, a disease-causing pathogen, and an environment that allows that pathogen to thrive. The key to prevention is breaking that cycle. Producers can often keep pathogens out through biosecurity and quarantining new animals, reduce susceptibility by providing proper nutrition and vaccines, and improve the environment with good ventilation, dry bedding, and reduce stress. Experts say if you remove even one part of that three-part equation, the chances of disease developing drop significantly, helping keep herds healthier and more productive. To learn more, you can find this full article today at ohioagnet.com. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Joe Everett reporting.
Thanks, Joe. Well, a few weeks ago when we were out in San Antonio for Commodity Classic, I had the opportunity to catch up with Dr. Elizabeth Lemmings with Senderlo Curley.
A lot of exciting things going on, at least in my part of Ohio, Northwest Ohio. You guys have a new facility in Defiance.
up and running now. Tell us a little bit about that, because it's a big deal for us.
Absolutely. So back in the summer of 2025, we actually opened our new facility there in Defiance, Ohio. So what that plant is producing is ammonium thiosulfate, or our thiosol product, which is our flagship main product in the Midwest and throughout the country. So really getting that extra production available in that Great Lakes Midwest market is really going to be a game changer for us to be able to supply our growers and our retailers with enough product for the season this year.
Outstanding. Let's talk thiosol a little bit, the advantages that brings to a crop.
Absolutely. So if we think about building our fertility programs for this year, and we know that margins are tight, we know the markets, we're trying to pinch pennies where we can, but we don't want to leave anything on the table in terms of yield, right? So we have low crop prices. We still need to maintain that yield to be able to get that return. So sulfur is really that fourth major macronutrient. We think about our N, our P, or K. Sulfur is really important in maximizing that yield, and thiosulfate sulfur itself brings some added benefits in that as well.
Absolutely. Let's talk KTS, another product you guys have out there. Tell me a little bit about it and the advantages that we've seen.
Absolutely. So KTS is really the highest analysis liquid K product on the market. So it's 25% K with 17% thiosulfate sulfur. It's really fitted for those corn production systems with that 2x2 application. Guys looking at strip till to get that extra K in that band. KTS can really fit those programs. And then with that thiosulfate sulfur, just like thiosol, we have the nitrogen protection benefits with that. So when we blend those products with UAN, we can guard against nitrogen losses and really boost that productivity and that ROI for the grower.
Great. Two great products that really fit nice in Northwest Ohio, and nice to have it as a company that's got a facility right there in our part of the state as well. Again, my guest today is Dr. Elizabeth Lemmings. We are at Commodity Classic. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Let's take a look at what's impacting the markets. Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113.
Grain markets finished mostly higher yesterday, although Minneapolis wheat, the spring wheat futures faltered late. Even Kansas City wheat pulled back to about unchanged at the close. The Chicago complex all was higher, Chicago wheat, corn, and beans. However, all three of those markets were well off of their highs when we finished out the day on Thursday. The main story yesterday was, again, the energy sector. Crude oil was up anywhere from $7 to $10 a barrel through most of the trading day. It was all due to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and a lot of general uncertainty about when it reopens. The U.S. is saying it does not want to escort private vessels through the straits, at least until Iran's missile or drone capabilities are diminished even farther than they are right now. Some are suggesting that would be toward the end of the month. So there's probably some prolonged pain in the energy sector, and that's what's, again, helping these grain markets to move higher. Brokers estimate 3,700 contracts of wheat secured yesterday, nearly 10,000 corn, 9,000 beans. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look now at how your markets closed yesterday. This recap of the markets brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Well, May corn closed up 2 1/4 cents, and July corn was up 2 cents. May soybeans closed the day up 13 1/4, while July beans were up 12 3/4 cents. May Kansas City wheat closed the day unchanged, while May Chicago wheat was up 3 3/4 cents, but May Minneapolis wheat closed the day down 3 1/2. Turning now to your overnight markets, March corn is currently unchanged at $4.48 1/4 cents. May corn is up 1/4 penny at $4.62 3/4. March soybeans unchanged at $12.13, with May beans down 1 1/4 at $12.26, and wheat for July up 3 3/4 at $6.13 1/4. December wheat up 3 3/4 cents at $6.43. Turning now to livestock. At yesterday's close, April live cattle were up $1.10, $231.25, and June cattle were up $1.30 at $229.37 1/2. April lean hogs closed down 85 cents at 94.35, with May hogs down 90 cents at $99.15, and feeder cattle for April down 30 cents on the day, $343 even. Thanks for joining us and have a great day, everyone. Be safe with the wind out there. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet.